welcome to another movie review by me, the Obsessed Whovian 95. I've done a few movie reviews by now. I've done Toy Story, I've done Jurassic World, I've even done Terminator Genesis. But now it is time to review what is arguably one of the most iconic series of films out there. I am, of course, talking to you about Star Wars. And, Star Wars, I love Star Wars. One of the greatest sci-fi franchises out there. One of the greatest film franchises out there. Now, the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do it in episodic order in a run-up to the release of Episode 7 at the end of the year. Yes! So, we're going to do it in episodic order. So, we're going to go from 1 to 6, and then eventually to 7 after number 7 is released. So, first off, what we got? I'm sure we're going to have something really, really good to review first off in the whole Star Wars saga. So, what we got? Episode 1. Oh, what's Episode 1 called? What's this? Star Wars 1. The Phantom Menace. Oh dear. Well, see you later. I suppose you really want me to review this then. Well, alright, let's review it. I suppose I'll have to review it anyway, so I might as well review it now and get it out of the way. So, yes, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, released in 1999, 16 years after the last Star Wars film. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, was first released. And what is it to say about this? Well, my opinion is not really that different compared to the opinions that have been said about this film already. I mean, The Phantom Menace is just... It's one of those things... It's the highest grossing films of all time. It's the highest grossing Star Wars film there is so far as I'm making this video. That could all change with The Force Awakens. But The Phantom Menace, one of the most hyped films of all time, if not the most hyped film of all time. And did it deliver? I think you know what my answer is going to be, don't you? The film stars Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Jake Lloyd, Ian McDiarmid, along with Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, Pernell August, and Frank Oz. And of course, the music is by John Williams, and it was directed by the man himself, George Lucas, the visionary behind the whole saga. So, of course, Phantom Menace, in terms of the chronology of the series, it starts off the whole saga. And, well, you already know what I think. I think it's just a really lacklustre sort of beginning to the series. The whole tagline of this is every saga has a beginning, and oh boy, I think everybody was excited for this. Hell, if I grew up back then, if I was old enough to remember this, I was only 4 years old, so I don't really remember Phantom Menace coming out, but if I was old enough, I would have thought, yeah, this is going to be absolutely awesome. But once the film was released, we all got disappointed. The film starts off with this trade negotiation, and two Jedi Knights in the form of Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor go to see these trade negotiations. Yeah, within about 10 minutes I'm already falling asleep already. But basically, you've got Qui-Gon Jinn played by Liam Neeson, and you've got Ewan McGregor who plays a younger Obi-Wan Kenobi, as played by Alec Guinness in the original trilogy. And just for starters, one thing I can say, Ewan McGregor was very well cast in the role of Obi-Wan. He's got the presence of someone wise, even though in this he's a lot younger, and you can really see that they really chose the right man, I feel, and I think he's one of the best things about the prequel trilogy in a whole. As for Qui-Gon Jinn, I think he's a good character, but of course he only appears in this film. He's played excellently by Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson is great in almost everything he's in. I mean, he trained Batman in Batman Begins, and he's also known for the Taken films. So it's quite good that Liam Neeson was in this, but it's just a pity that he's in Phantom Menace, because Phantom Menace is, for me, the weakest Star Wars film. After a little bit of talking for a few minutes, they end up on this planet called Naboo. I think it's on Naboo. And they end up coming across this creature called Jar Jar Binks. Oh, this is going to be exciting then, isn't it? So, Jar Jar Binks. Apparently George Lucas wanted to create a child-friendly character for this new Star Wars film to introduce to the children. You know, something like R2-D2 and C-3PO, because by this point everyone knew who R2-D2 and C-3PO were. So, Jar Jar Binks, I'm sure he's going to be a popular character, and to be honest, I think he is really, really popular. Yeah, I really love how he talks, you know, it's not annoying at all, you know. Hello, Mr. Jar Jar Binks! You know, not annoying at all, and, you know, the fact that it's all CGI, it's a lifeless creature, brilliant. George Lucas, you genius. I love what you did with Jar Jar Binks. Love the character. He's the best character out of all Star Wars as well. I've even got loads of Jar Jar Binks merchandise. In terms of the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch figures, why have we not got a Jar Jar Binks figure? I mean, Jar Jar Binks, I absolutely...
Don't you dare!
Okay, enough with the bullshit. I don't love Jar Jar Binks. I absolutely hate him. I think that he's an absolutely diabolical character. Ahmed Best voices him, and he's easily one of the worst things ever from Star Wars. If anyone even thinks they love Jar Jar Binks, then I feel sorry for you all. After an encounter with these weird sea creature things, they end up going to the palace where Princess or Queen Amidala is. I think she's a queen in this, although she's more like a princess. It's just basically the rip-off of Princess Leia, but done really, really badly. And to be honest, Queen Amidala in this is like one of the most boring characters in cinema history. Her voice is just all monotone. She talks like that, and you don't really feel anything for this character. I don't really give a shit about this character, whether she gets killed by all these droids. Oh no, she's going to get killed. Oh, what are we going to do? Oh no. Yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Queen Amidala and the whole film as a whole. So, yeah, things aren't going well so far, are they? And after all that, she basically gets rescued by the two Jedi Knights. They go away in this really nice looking ship. I must say that the CGI in this partly is good. I must say on the ships is good. But I'll talk more about the CGI towards the end of this. On this ship we have R2-D2 and we finally meet Padme, who is a sort of companion? I mean, I don't really know the word. She's just there, and it just so happens she's the one who volunteers to aid Qui-Gon on his quest to find some fuel. So yeah, they basically run out of fuel. All these droids get destroyed, and what do you know? The one that survives is R2-D2. And this is the first chronological appearance of R2-D2 in the Star Wars universe. And again, operated by Kenny Baker. And he's actually from my hometown, Preston, which is brilliant. To know that I come from the same place as R2-D2, real +1 for me. Yeah. And anyhow, they end up on this planet known as Tatooine, and for long-time Star Wars fans, we would all be familiar with this as it appeared in Episode 4 and Episode 6, so we could see a lot of familiar stuff, like all the sand and everything, and all of that. And Qui-Gon, Padme, Jar Jar, and R2-D2 go down to Tatooine. And while all of this is going on, you get a few bits with these weird alien things, and somehow they're speaking when all you see in reality is going. That's how they talk, in my opinion. And you're probably watching this and you're thinking, what the bloody hell is he doing? But you know, Newt Gunray, those characters, they got the weird eyes and everything, and they're negotiating with this hooded figure. I wonder who he could be. I wonder if he could be the bad guy. And he introduces a character known as Darth Maul. Hello, this is my apprentice, Darth Maul. And Darth Maul is easily one of the best characters ever. And I'm not joking this time. I'm not taking the piss. He really is one of the best characters. But I'll talk more about him towards the end of this review. So they go in search of fuel for the ship, and they come across a little boy and this weird flying thing. The dogs are made like this, you know. And his name's Watto, and the little boy is called Anakin Skywalker. Now, I watched the original trilogy before the prequel trilogy, and that's what everyone should do, really. And the name Skywalker sounds very familiar. Anakin Skywalker. Oh my god, the little boy's Darth Vader! Oh my god, he's going to be so evil. Oh, I'm really looking forward to what he does in this film. But all he does in this film really is, he asks Padme, are you an angel? He does some pod racing. He blows up this Death Star reject at the end of the film, and he just basically says stupid things like, no, this is pod racing. And Jake Lloyd, you know, the way they cast, they obviously had to do the process of casting child actors, and they chose him. And George Lucas thought, yeah, there's something mysterious about this guy. We've got to get him in this film.
Are you serious?
And they got him in, but he must be one of the most annoying characters in cinema history. And his name's Anakin Skywalker, Oh, what is his nickname going to be then? Annie? Now, when I think of Annie, I think of the bloody ginger-haired kid from the musical of the same name. Annie? Is this seriously going to call one of the most revered, feared sci-fi characters of all time Annie? So, the early days of Darth Vader, his nickname was Annie. Oh boy. Oh my god. I need a drink. I really need a drink of alcohol because this is just beyond belief. And I'll tell you something. I was 6 years old and I remember thinking to myself, is this Star Wars? And, you know, when I was 6, I didn't really think much about it. I saw 4, 5 and 6 first, which I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I didn't see this first because it would have put me right off it all. And, well, to be honest, when I was 6 years old, I always thought that Phantom Menace didn't count. I didn't realise it was a Star Wars film. And then when Attack of the Clones came along, obviously I had to change because when that came along I was 7 and by that stage I knew what Star Wars was. So, because I first saw Phantom Menace when I was about 6 in about 2001 and I just got so bored by it. It was just too different. Hardly any of the characters from the original trilogy were in this film, and I didn't understand that the little boy was Darth Vader. I didn't understand that this was set before the original trilogy, and I remember learning that this little boy was Darth Vader, and I remember thinking, how the hell is he called Annie? It is one of the most stupid things they've ever done. I can understand why it's nicknamed Annie, but it just sounds girly. It's just to name Darth Vader after a girl. Lucas, what were you thinking? So it's after this, they go on a pod race. And I must say, the pod racing is easily one of the best parts of the film. It makes it worthwhile. And that's saying something because there's hardly any parts of this film that we can enjoy. So far, we've had negotiations right at the very beginning, which is a bit lacklustre. It wasn't exactly a spectacular beginning for a Star Wars film compared to the likes of A New Hope or The Empire Strikes Back, you know, with the battle on Hoth, and Return of the Jedi, when you've got the whole rescue of Han Solo inside Jabba the Hutt's palace. Here, it's the rescue of blinking Jar Jar Binks. Oh my god. Why did they have to rescue him? They should have just left him for dead. You know, if it wasn't for Jar Jar Binks, a lot of the stuff that happened in the following films, it wouldn't have happened because he was given an emergency powers. You know, someone should really do an edited version of the Phantom Menace, like Lucas did with the special editions of the original trilogy, and they should edit out all of Jar Jar Binks' scenes. I would happily watch that. I think it would easily improve the film a lot. Likewise with young Anakin Skywalker is so annoying, but he's best when he's quiet, and during the pod race he doesn't say anything. He just gets along, drives his vehicle, his pod racer, and it's easily one of the best things. You see a few Tusken Raiders here and there, and a few Jawas, you know, a throwback to A New Hope, which is really nice. And you can see all the environments of Tatooine. You get a little appearance by a CGI Jabba the Hutt. The one from Return of the Jedi was better. And likewise, you get all these creatures also driving the pod race. And again, none of them are real. None of them are prosthetic. And surprisingly, there was a lot more originally there was a lot more creatures that were going to be in the final cut of this film. Seriously, check it out on this DVD here. It's in the deleted scenes. See? Check out the second disc. It's on the deleted scenes, and there's tons. Too many. And even in the final version, even though there was cuts made, there's still too many of the bloody aliens. And they're all CGI, lifeless, just like Jar Jar Binks. You got this character who's called Sebulba. He's an absolute ass. He tries to cheat his way through the race, and he's winning. And then, thankfully, Anakin wins. So after Anakin wins, they get the money, and then they go back to the ship. And for some reason, they take Anakin with them. Well, why? I just didn't understand why they couldn't just take his mum. It's not like they're going to stop them or anything. Just take his mum with them. It's just a really stupid plot device which was just left to be totally... It was just basically a plot device left for the Attack of the Clones, the second prequel. Because all that gets revisited later on. And, yeah... We won't go into that now. We'll talk about that more when I go into reviewing Attack of the Clones. That should be fun. It must be as fun as this review, because I tell you, by this point I was just totally... I was falling asleep. Anyway, they go back to this planet called Coruscant, where the Jedi Council is, and the political stuff is... I'm not going to talk about the political stuff because, quite frankly, it's some of the most boring shit you'll ever see, guys. But on the plus side, you see a couple of Wookiees there, and you also see a couple of E.T. creatures, as in E.T. from the film E.T., directed by Steven Spielberg. Isn't that funny that E.T. could actually be from the Star Wars universe? So E.T. could actually be a Star Wars film if you think about it. Also, the whole friendship between George Lucas and Spielberg is one of the greatest friendships ever. And, you know, Spielberg directed the Indiana Jones films, Lucas wrote them. And in E.T., you actually have someone dressed up as Yoda for Halloween, and E.T. actually recognises Yoda. So I wonder, could E.T. actually be part of the Star Wars universe? It's a mystery. But enough of that. Apart from E.T. making an unexpected appearance in there, all that stuff is so boring. It just goes over my head every time I watch it. I want to see shit get blown up. Darth Maul, yeah. Darth Maul, he looks really cool. Yeah, he looks absolutely awesome, doesn't he? Yeah. So, be great to see what he does in the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of this. Oh, right. He gets killed. And likewise, at the end of the film, Qui-Gon Jinn gets killed as well, and that's that really. The death, it wasn't that spectacular, and you know, Darth Maul, I think he's the coolest thing about this film, to be honest. He was a great replacement for Darth Vader, because by this point they already ruined the character by calling him Annie, and casting someone who plays this annoying kid. You know, he's really annoying. Are you an angel? Oh, this is pod racing. Oh. And worst of all, Padme, it turns out she's a real Queen Admidala. That's the whole plot twist. Oh, I'm so excited. You know, I really just was not... I did not care at this point. I just wanted the film to end, you know. 2 hours... 2 hours wasted. The final battle on Naboo is pretty good, though. Although you get all that stupidity with Jar Jar Binks, which is just pointless. They're trying to add light comic relief into it. It just really doesn't bloody work. It's absolutely bloody stupid. C-3PO is in this film, and he's only in the film for about maybe 5-10 minutes, and he got built by Anakin Skywalker. Darth freaking Vader built C-3PO. I don't like that, to be honest. I think it's stupid. So yeah, final battle scenes was alright, but all of it was CGI. And if you look at it now, it kind of looks a bit like PS1 graphics, which is quite ironic, seeing as this came out around the time as when PS1s were available to buy all across the world. But the final scene with Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon and Darth Maul, easily the best scene of the whole film. The choreography is good, it's really good. You get to see his double-edged lightsaber, which is alright, quite a good thing. Darth Maul, I think people would have lost their minds back then when they saw that for the first time in the trailer for this film. And like I say, he gets killed. He wrongfully gets killed. But if you count the Clone Wars, it turns out he didn't get killed. He actually survived all that fall. And is it me? When I saw this when I was younger, when Obi-Wan stabs Darth Maul, I always thought he stabbed him in the dick, and then he split in half. But I believe he just stabs him around here now. I don't know, it's something I always thought, and I just thought, well, that's the way to go. But after the droids are all defeated, after the main space station is blown up by Annie, and when Darth Maul is defeated, and obviously when Qui-Gon sadly dies, I would have liked to see Liam Neeson appear in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but Liam Neeson is too good for Star Wars in my opinion. He gets burnt on this pyre, similar to how Darth Vader got burnt on the pyre at the end of Return of the Jedi, and all these Jedi are gathered, and oh my god, I've not even mentioned Samuel L. Jackson is in this film. He plays a Jedi Master. Oh, well, he's gotta be good. I wonder if he swears just like he does in Pulp Fiction. You mother effing Jedi! No, but thankfully he doesn't. It would have been very funny if he did, though. So yeah, Mace Windu is his character. And what's he doing in this film? Just sits like this and talks. What a wasted opportunity that was. Samuel L. Jackson's a great actor. He's great, and I feel that his inclusion in Star Wars was wasted. They only cast him because he was a popular Hollywood A-lister. He still is. I mean, in Attack of the Clones, the only real talking point you could say about him is, oh, look, he's got a purple lightsaber. He's different to everyone else. Apart from him being, the only black Jedi on the Jedi Council. But it's not Samuel L. Jackson's fault. It's the script's fault. He's just a wasted character. And Yoda is here as well. Oh, so how does Yoda look here? Well, it's quite weird, really. We've got all of these CGI characters like Jar Jar bloody Binks, and you've got all those characters that appeared on Tatooine and the pod race and everything. But Yoda is actually a puppet, which kind of baffles me. But in later editions of this, he got turned into CGI, and in Attack of the Clones, of course, he did become a CGI character. But I must be honest, in this particular Star Wars film, the puppet absolutely looks atrocious. The puppet that was used in The Empire Strikes Back 19 years before this film was released looked a ton better than this. The puppet for Yoda in this is absolutely awful, and I don't know what it was. The voice acting for Yoda seemed a bit odd, and Frank Oz returns as Yoda here, and I don't know what it is. Was he having an off day or something? I have no idea. But anyhow, it's one of the final lines of the film. In fact, it is the final line of the film, spoken by Yoda. He said, always two they are, a master and an apprentice. And that is that. You get this cheesy little celebration at the very end of the film, which I just don't like. Oh, and Anakin got a haircut and he's going to become a Jedi. One thing that's quite odd, though, they say that he's too old to be a Jedi. And now, at this point of the film franchise, Anakin Skywalker is 9 years old. Bloody hell. How old are you meant to be? Hell, are you meant to be inside a womb when you're supposed to become a Jedi? And, yeah, the whole thing about him being born, you never learn who his father is. It's oh yeah, I just became pregnant. Here he is. Yeah, Shmi Skywalker became pregnant, and Anakin was born. No father, so no dramatics like what he would have with his own son a few films down the line. And yeah, we get cheesy celebration scene. Half of them are CGI characters again, really cheesy. Film ends. At this point, I'm thinking, thank God, that's the end of the film. So yeah, that's pretty much most of episode 1 in a nutshell. Anyhow, now it's time to give this a score. And before I give it a score, I just want to say I don't necessarily hate this film, but I really detest it. I think this is easily the worst Star Wars film there is, and it's not really a surprise. A lot of people say either this or Attack of the Clones are the worst entries in the whole franchise, and to be honest, it doesn't really make a difference. Attack of the Clones is not much better, so when I review that, you won't expect much different from what you get in this. I mean, the worst thing about this is easily Jar Jar Binks and young Anakin Skywalker. They're just so bad. And you've got Queen Amidala, who just sounds really, really boring, and you just want to kill her. And I really do not give one for her. And likewise, you've got all these characters. They're a bit boring and stuff. You know, they don't have
magic,
the flair, you know, the same impact as what characters like Han Solo or Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia had in the original trilogy. Just didn't do it for me. But I will say that the best things about this are easily Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan and Darth Maul in this. I feel that C-3PO was misused. I wanted to see more of him because I really like C-3PO. R2-D2, I think they use about right. And yeah, there's not really much positives, to be honest. Some of the CGI, I'll just quickly point out, some of the CGI is good in places. It holds up well. It's for a 16-year-old film. On the other hand, some of it doesn't, especially the scenes of the final battle of Naboo, because all of that is just CGI, and yeah, it just didn't necessarily have the same impact as say as what all the battles had in the original trilogy. I mean, the Hoth battle from Empire Strikes Back, that's all model work, and that holds up really, really well over 30 years after that was released. But yeah, Don't like this film. Easily the worst Star Wars film. Overall, I'm going to give this a score of a 3 out of 10. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't think it's bad. There's some good moments. And one thing that really makes up for this is the music by John Williams. It's absolutely fantastic as always. Especially the new theme, the Duel of Fates, which plays during the fight scene between the two Jedi Knights and Darth Maul. Darth Maul's absolutely brilliant. Again, he was a wasted character as well. I really wanted to see more of that character. And he already had a couple of lines in dialogue. You see a little bit of the Emperor, which is always a great thing. The Emperor is one of my favourite characters from the entire saga. So it's great that we got a little bit of him. You don't actually see his true identity. More of that is explored in Revenge of the Sith, but again, I'll talk more about that in that review. And yeah, Phantom Menace, it's not terrible, but it's not good. I don't like it. So now I can finally end this review, and I can happily say, if you want to watch Star Wars, if you've never seen it before, please don't watch this first. Don't be fooled by the numbering system of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The way you do it is 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then 7 onwards. Yeah. They messed up on the numbering system, didn't they? Don't forget to click the link below to subscribe to me, James Croft, aka The Obsesstuvian 95. Have a great day.